Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Gubz. I don't know if you guys know my real name, but my real name is Gabriel, and I just want to talk today about the harsh reality of being a content creator, or I guess YouTuber. And I'm just going to speak from my personal experience because, as you all may know, I come from my main channel, Gubz, and this is my second channel where I'm just going to talk about other things, like life things and stuff going on in my life. And something I've been thinking about a lot lately, I guess it kind of springboards off of the things I've been watching off of YouTube itself, is trying to financially support myself and my family and my future family. So, to start things off, I never saw YouTube as a source of income when I first started. I thought it was just something fun to do. And I know I'm going to keep coming back to my main channel called Gubz. And on there, it was around like 2016 when I sort of started popping off one summer. I did like an analysis video on Quicksilver from one of the X-Men movies. And, when it hit, I thought I struck gold, and I do feel very lucky that that happened for me. And I'm very appreciative of all the people that still watch me. But that was years ago. Seeing the potential earning power of a YouTube channel really did go to show that, wow, this could actually become something that could financially support me. And at the time, I was a high schooler. That summer, I was entering my senior year. It was in between that transition period between 11th grade and 12th grade. I live in the United States, so I was becoming a senior that following semester. I didn't think too much of it. Like, I knew going to school that I wanted to pursue engineering, which, by the way, is my day job currently. I am an engineer, fully employed. But it did go to show that through time, becoming a full-time content creator requires a lot of grit. I remember being in the thick of it, making videos while in college, and just balancing my life then was really hard. Because a lot of my videos, at least early on, actually, honestly, no, I take that back. Even now, just making videos in general, the type of videos I make, takes a lot of writing and editing and recording. Even just this audio sample right here, I'm chopping it up as I'm going on. Having been in the 9-to-5 field for a couple of years now, and comparing that to content creation, it just went to show that for most people, 9-to-5s are the most comfortable route to go. I don't even know if that's the right choice of words, but hear me out. A lot of the successful streamers and YouTubers you see are the top, 5%. Or I think it's even lower, maybe the top 2% of online content creators. YouTube doesn't really go to show you the people that have 20 subs or 15 subs and get 1 to 2 views each video. The people that have been creating content for years, maybe even a decade. And it gets discouraging after a while. The thing with a 9-to-5 is that, I'm sure you've probably heard of it before, but you can literally after work just stop thinking about work entirely and just go about your day, go back to your home, go back to your family, play video games, go out with friends, do whatever. But with content creation, it's definitely a 24/7 kind of thing where you don't really turn off your brain. For those of you that don't make videos or don't understand what I'm getting at, essentially, even after you've posted a video, you're constantly thinking of oh, I should write this down as the next joke, or I can put this in my next video, or what's the next video going to be about? There's never really a halt to kind of just take a breather, because your life depends on getting constant views and attention. Whereas in a 9-to-5, you kind of just do your tasks as you're told, and once that's over, once it hits 5 p.m. or whenever you're supposed to clock out, you're done for the day. You can just go home. You did your 8 hours, you did your due diligence, it's done. And the reason why it's the most reasonable option to go through as a normal average person that's not in the top 2% of content creators is because it offers a more reasonable base salary. Here's what I mean. So, on the Gubz channel, my base salary in my prime time was about $2,500 to $3,000 a month, just off of Google AdSense alone. And now this wasn't me optimizing YouTube AdSense in its best way. I feel like I could have, really, really optimized it and used things to my advantage. But I just didn't because I wasn't really informed on it. But essentially, I only activated the beginning and end roll ads. I never turned on the mid-roll ads, which basically left money on the table for me. I wasn't really taking full advantage of, the earning potential of my YouTube channel, which I kind of regret because I know a lot of people don't like mid-roll ads, but after researching it, not even too in-depth, but manually putting mid-roll ads after a minute or two each, spacing them out a minute or two throughout the video, doesn't mean that each viewer is going to see another ad each minute in the video, right? Like, not after every minute they're going to see another ad. That's not how that works. That'd be really annoying, and that's how I thought that was going to work. But no, they only see the ads that YouTube selects for that specific user. So say, for example, if the user does not like watching ads, like if they're on a video based on their past track record, if the user is on a video and they see an ad, a mid-roll ad, and they click off immediately, then YouTube is most likely not going to show them a mid-roll ad for that specific user. But for other users who stick through the video and other videos, not just my videos, and they stick around and watch the mid-roll ad, and either they hit the skip button or they just watch the whole ad so they can continue watching the video, they will most likely be shown the ad because they're more receptive of mid-roll ads. So all those manual mid-roll ads I would have placed are not all going to be seen. There's going to be like maybe 1 to 2 to 3 of them are going to be shown. And which isn't too bad, you know, because I have some really long videos out there that I've posted. But back to the main point. The base salary, like, I usually averaged around $2,500. Yeah, I would say give or take $2,500 per month. And I live in California. That salary is nothing. Like, I'm sure if I lived somewhere else, like in, I don't know, some middle state, Idaho or something, that would have been, you know, a decent wage to have. And mind you, I was like 18, 19 years old at the time. I'm 26 now, but, well, no, I'm 25. I'm turning 26 in September this year. It was something that I was that I had in the back of my mind, like, is this something I can financially afford to do? You know, because it took so much of my time away from, you know, schooling, and it definitely negatively impacted my social life. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I kind of just need something like a job to financially support myself, because that's what jobs do, right? They're supposed to allow you to financially support yourself and do whatever you want to do outside of the job itself. Whereas YouTube, yeah, I enjoyed talking about my main content, which was superheroes, but it came to a point where, like, if this is all I live and breathe, what am I doing, you know? Like, it was super draining, and maybe that was just me not having a good sense of work-life balance, or me not wanting to outsource a lot of the work to other people. Like, I could have paid people to do the editing and do my thumbnails, but I did take a lot of pride in writing my own things and making those funny little edits that I do, making my own thumbnails. Honestly, I feel like thumbnails are the funnest part of making YouTube videos, because it just looks nice, like making this really cool picture that thousands or millions of people are going to see on their front page, you know? It feels nice making that. But it is laborious. It takes a lot of time just thinking of a thumbnail and thinking like, oh, this one's going to be better. And all of that just to earn, at least in California, a below decent base wage, averaging $2,500 a month. Comparing that to my engineering gig I have now, I make almost 3 times that as a base salary per month. And mind you, that's after taxes. That YouTube number, $2,500 I gave you, that was before taxes, so not all of that is actually going to me. I have to pay, like, some of that income back to the state government and federal government. But with the engineering gig, that's with, you know, retirement investing, that's with taxes already paid off, my Roth IRA investments, which is, you know, it feeds into the retirement, but that's another retirement vehicle I'm using. And all that with the provided luxury of just allowing myself to turn my brain off once the clock hits 5 p.m. or when I have to clock out. It just feels so much better comparing it to, you know, what I was going through as a content creator. And that's not to say I can't do both, but it is to say that you can only focus on one. One has to be your primary source of focus and energy. And obviously for me, that was my engineering gig, because that earns me a more stable sense of financial income. It allows me to save for my future while at the same time helping me support my current family right now. Whereas with content creation, not only do you have to deal with the wavering average monthly salary that's pretty low for my living standards, or the state that I live in's living standards, but you also have to deal with the volatility of trending topics. Because mind you, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or like comic book movies, as much as we like hate to admit it, they're not as popular as they were pre-COVID. Like, I'm going to be real with you, like, yes, part of the reason why I left my main channel for a while was because of burnout and dealing with the fact that I need to focus on my engineering degree, and which I did. I graduated with my engineering degree. But another aspect of it was like, man, these movies or shows, I'm just not that interested in anymore, you know? And I still stick around and I watch a lot of, you know, Marvel movies and comic book shows with my girlfriend and my family. But dude, just sitting back and watching the movie and watching the show and not having to think, oh, I gotta go edit this and have it out before it's not trending anymore, or else it's gonna impact the amount of revenue I'm gonna get. It feels so nice just to relax and sit back and watch just as a fan again, and not a a YouTuber or someone who makes videos think, damn, I gotta make a video out this again, you know? So where am I at now? Well, literally, I'm actually driving on the road, so maybe that's why the mic sounds a little different from what you're used to hearing from me. But mentally, I am back on YouTube on my main channel, but not as a primary focus. It's definitely a hobby for me, which just so happens to earn me some extra income that I no longer have to rely on to financially support me or my family. It is nice that it provides an extra boost of income, and it's definitely wise not to put all my eggs in one basket. Like, yes, the 9-to-5 job is a stable, cushiony place to be in because there's a good, decent monthly pay that's pretty stable, that doesn't change much unless I get a raise or change jobs. And I'm just going to continue uploading whenever I can, whether that be every month or every other month or just whenever. I think that's the best thing for me. And it does put a peace of mind like, hey, these videos are going to do however well they are going to do, and there's not much I can do about it, because that's really the nature of the game. That's the harsh truth or reality of being a content creator, is that you can put so much effort into one video, and it does not matter, because if it's just bad, performatively bad, objectively, you could have a really great, well-made video, right? Well-edited, really funny, but there's still a chance that no one will see it. Everything's just based off of the YouTube algorithm and whatever people want to see. And, you know, obviously you can't force people to watch your content. That's not what you want in the first place anyways. But it is inherently unstable. Another aspect of this harsh reality is that every YouTuber has a lifeline. Actually, I shouldn't say YouTuber. Every online creator has a platform, whether that be a YouTuber, a Twitch streamer, a TikTok poster, or whatever. Everyone has a popularity lifeline where they hit the peak of their trend, where they're going to earn the most of their income. And usually, for YouTubers, it's around like 3 to 5 years. I think I started popping off in 2016, and then 2019, that's when I hit my peak for YouTube popularity. And then after that, I kind of just like got super burnt out where there was no coming back, honestly. Like, I had to go to therapy and like take a long extended break from my Gubz platform. So I did hit that 3-year mark, as the average estimation was from I think I took that from Google. I don't remember where I saw that, but I believe Google was the one that estimated there was 3 to 5 years of the average, popularity lifespan of a YouTuber or online content creator. And mind you, I'm still grateful for the views that I get, but yes, I do see that they're not as big as they used to be, because honestly, I mean, it makes sense. I've not been consistent with my YouTube videos, and they're not going to be super successful because I've just been gone for so long. In that peak of their lifeline, those 3 to 5 years of staying relevant or staying on top of the game and being trending and making the most of their platform, you really need to capitalize on that and make sure that you optimize every way you could on earning as much financial income as you can, not just for you at the current moment, but also for you in the future, because the reality is nothing lasts forever. And I feel like even though I had those concerns when I was, making those videos back when I was 18 years old, 19 years old, even when I first started when I was like 16, 17, even though I had that feeling that, man, I don't know if I could keep doing this while doing school and working a full-time job, that shadow of doubt was already there, but it never fully realized that, wow, this is not going to last forever. It showed itself in different ways, but it never really came apparent to me when I actually finally just decided to leave for a couple of years. And the only regret I really have was not being more financially literate and optimizing it as a business, because that's what it was. It was a business. And yes, it is a hobby, and yes, it is fun for me again, and it was fun for me very much so when I was younger, but there were so many things I was just not doing that I feel like future me or the me now would have greatly appreciated from myself when I was younger, and that included, using mid-roll ads, getting a better understanding of mid-roll ads, having a Patreon, and things of that nature. And I think it's understated how much people don't talk much about the mental power it takes to go through the dips and dives of your viewership or your revenue. Because like I said, unless you're in that top 2%, this isn't something that can financially support you over the long term. Even the top 0.1%, like YouTubers such as Ryan Higa or Ray William Johnson, that were the most popular YouTubers in my time. I know now it's Mr. Beast, but I'm going to be honest, I haven't really been watching Mr. Beast at all. I just know he makes some crazy numbers, but back then, Ray William Johnson and Ryan Higa were the top of the top. And now none of them really post anything anymore. Well, no, I think Ray William Johnson posts something. I'm not watching his newer content, but I can imagine his new videos aren't as popular as they used to be. And Ryan Higa does gaming on his second channel now. So do I regret leaving YouTube all those years ago, now that it's impacted my channel and not getting as much viewership as it used to be? No, not really. I feel like I made the best decision for myself, and if I had done the other way around where I stuck through that and honestly didn't get my engineering degree, I feel like I would have regretted it then. Because I have no idea where I'd be right now if that had happened. I know I'd be a lot less financially secure, and because my popularity relied so heavily on comic book popularity, I feel like it would have gotten much worse. Not just my financial situation, but my mental health situation. But also I feel like I wouldn't have met the people I have met in my life, relationships. I wouldn't have met my girlfriend. I wouldn't have made progress in the friendships I do have. I feel like I did need that time to grow socially and mentally, which I did, and I feel that was the best decision, and I don't regret anything in that regard. What I do regret, though, was my time as a content creator. I wish I just capitalized and optimized the amounts of money I was earning at that time. Which any of you who are watching, if you guys are making videos or plan to make videos, please look into financially optimizing your videos. Because as much as, you want to say that this is just a hobby, you don't want to earn money from it, the world, that's not the world we live in. We need to make income to survive, and that was my initial thought process too when I was 16 years old. That summer of 2016, I was like, oh no, I'm just gonna go make the videos I want to make and not care about the revenue. And as much as that was the initial thought process, I wish I took more initiative to become more informed about how mid-roll ads worked and how that could have nearly doubled the amount of money I saw in YouTube video making. I didn't even take sponsorships, which I feel like that one's more debatable. I feel like even now, I don't know if I would still want to take sponsorships. But I do remember feeling a bit sad when my revenue dipped because my viewership dwindled a bit every now and then during my run from 2016 to 2019. I'm like, man, what am I doing wrong? Why am I getting like a lot of views but still my revenue's going down? It doesn't make any sense. I just wish I became more informed on how mid-roll ads worked. I placed more of them in my videos, especially the longer form videos, because that would have really helped me and my mental health headspace. And maybe I would have even been uploading for a bit longer, but I feel like in the end run, I would have left anyways, just to pursue, my engineering degree and further grow socially and just live my life, honestly, offline for a bit. Anyways, guys, do you have a 9-to-5? I know a lot of you are probably around the same age or a bit younger than me, so I'm kind of curious to know if you guys are currently working or what your situation's like. And if you had experience with content creation and earning money from it, did you have a preference between working a 9-to-5 and being a content creator? Or if you're currently pursuing content creation, what's it like? I'm curious to know your thoughts. And do you like these kind of videos? I personally like it. There's not really much script to this. I'm just talking off the things that are on top of my head. I'm literally driving right now, and it's just the first things that come to mind. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. See ya.